They called her Velthara the Unyielding, a name sung in alien war songs across dozens of star systems. Her people, the Krell, were bred for strength, their bodies honed like blades in the cold crucibles of distant moons. She had broken enemy necks with one hand and shattered blast doors with her bare fists. But now she was caged, iron chains wrapped around her wrists, suspended in a frigid underground prison on the outer rim of the Siren expanse. And worst of all, she was no longer laughing, until she saw the human. He stood there beyond the energy bars, an unimpressive silhouette bathed in dim amber light. Unarmored, underfed, unremarkable. His name was Colton. She could smell the weakness on him, the fragility of bone, the softness of flesh, the scent of hope trying to hide behind fear. "You're the one they sent to rescue me," she rasped, voice rough from thirst and defiance. "A human. Your bones will snap before my chains do." Colton met her eyes without flinching. "Maybe. But I'm still getting you out." And then, to her disbelief, he walked into the cell. Chapter 2: Scars and Steel. The guards had grown complacent. Who would dare break into a secure syndicate prison, especially for a broken prisoner they'd publicly branded as traitor and freak? No one, except a human who didn't understand the word impossible. Colton worked fast, his fingers moving across the control panel. A hiss of escaping pressure signaled the door's unlock, but the chains remained. Velthara lifted her head. "Even if you release me, I'm too weak. I haven't eaten in 3 days." "I know," he said. "That's why I brought this." He knelt and pulled a nutrient injector from his pouch. Carefully, he pressed it against her neck. Her body jerked, then relaxed as strength surged back through her veins. Still, the chains held her arms taut, the alloy enhanced with dampening fields. She laughed bitterly. "You have no idea what those are made of." Colton didn't respond. Instead, he stepped behind her, gripped one of the chains, and pulled. Nothing happened. He took a breath and pulled again, muscles in his forearms tensing, face tight with effort. Sparks flew. Bone pop. The sound of straining metal filled the cell. "You'll break yourself," Velthara muttered. "Foolish, brittle thing." But then crack. The first shackle snapped. He fell backward, panting, one of the steel cuffs clattering to the floor. Her eyes widened. "You tore it," she said, as if in disbelief. "You tore it off." Colton stood, blood trickling from his nose. One more to go. Chapter 3: Through Fire and Frost. They moved through the corridors with her leaning on him, too unsteady to run, and him bearing her weight with every agonizing step. Sirens wailed behind them. The prison had noticed the breach. Lights turned red. Footsteps thundered above. "There's no way out," she hissed. "They'll kill you. You should have left me to rot." "I didn't come this far to leave anyone behind," Colton said through clenched teeth. She studied him now, really studied him. He was shorter than her, less mass in every way. But his spirit burned like a nova. No fear. No hesitation. Just purpose. Guards appeared at the far end of the corridor, rifles raised. "Back!" Velthara growled. "Hide!" Instead, Colton dropped to one knee, aimed the small plasma pistol he'd stolen earlier, and fired with terrifying precision. One guard fell. Another reeled. Velthara yanked the dropped weapon from his hand, flipped it over, and fired the next 2 shots herself. The hallway went still. "Not bad," she said. "You're welcome," he gasped. Chapter 4: The Cold Bridge. They reached the surface, a windswept platform of steel and snow. Ahead lay the bridge to the extraction point, but a massive blockade had formed. Syndicate troopers. And in the middle, a towering alien captain in command armor. Velthara stiffened. That's Korak. He was the one who betrayed me. Good, Colton said, squinting. I've been wanting to meet him. She blinked. You're insane. Colton tightened the sling of his pistol. Probably. Then let me walk. No. I can fight. I'm not leaving you behind to prove a point. She snarled. Why do you care so much? Because no one else did. She fell silent. Then, in a voice colder than the wind, she said, Carry me, human. Let's end this. Chapter 5, Strength. With her arms around his neck and the blizzard whipping around them, Colton walked onto the bridge like a man possessed. Every step was a challenge. Every breath froze his lungs. The guards raised their weapons, but hesitated. Velthara. Korak bellowed, voice echoing like thunder. You dare return. She's not here for you, Colton shouted back. We're leaving. Korak sneered. You. A flesh bag. You think you can defy the syndicate? I don't think, Colton said. I know. Then he dropped, rolled behind cover and opened fire. The battlefield ignited. Mechs marched forward. Velthara, leaning against a crate, grabbed a dropped energy blade and slashed through two troopers. Colton moved like a shadow, unpredictable, using the terrain, every motion deliberate and precise. One mech turned its cannon on him. Boom. The explosion threw Colton across the snow. Velthara screamed. He lay there, bleeding, body broken. Korak stepped forward, blade drawn. You thought you could save her, he growled. Velthara stood up, shaking. And then she screamed. Not in fear. Not in pain. But in fury. She lunged, chains still dangling from her wrists, and tore through Korak's armor like paper. Her blade plunged into his gut. She drove him to his knees, eyes burning with vengeance. Then she looked to Colton. He wasn't breathing. No, she whispered. She dropped beside him, cradled his body, trembling. Don't die, she said. Don't you dare die after this. Chapter 6, The Spark. Minutes passed. Troopers fled. Backup hadn't come. The storm swallowed the remains of the battlefield. Velthara held him close. Her tears froze against his cheek. Then a cough. Colton's eyes fluttered open. You're heavy, he croaked. She laughed, shaking, gasping, wild with relief. You stupid, reckless human. I told you, he whispered. I'm getting you out. She touched his face, her calloused fingers gentle. And I'll never laugh at your strength again. A distant hum echoed overhead. A shuttle, the extraction team. Right on time. Velthara stood, lifting him this time, carrying him toward the rising ramp. She looked back at the blood-stained snow, the broken chains, the shattered prison, and smiled. Epilogue, the legend. Later they would speak of the Krell warrior who fought like 10 armies. But always she would correct them. No, Velthara would say. The real strength wasn't mine. It belonged to the human who bled for me, who tore chains not meant to be broken, who carried me when I couldn't stand. And in that moment, she would whisper, he carried the weight of 2 galaxies.